Graduands, please pay attention to the slideshow that will be played shortly and take note of some important reminders and how you will be presented on stage.
I've always wanted to help people.
To pay it forward.
To lead others to make a change.
And together we can make a positive contribution.
The power of the invisible makes the visible powerful. Hidden behind the machines, wealth, and structures are confidence, conviction, decision, passion. At the foundation of any urban innovation, be it the economy, law, or technology and infrastructure, is the delicate science of cultural and social integration. These are the cords that bind a society, the relationships between people. The social sciences. The Singapore University of Social Sciences provides vital applied training, whether it's humanities, management or languages, law or science and technology, to create in students the instincts to help understand, manage, and solve the issues that affect society. We share knowledge because more minds find more solutions. We open minds and create passion to do meaningful work. And we constantly refresh, innovate, and invigorate. Because as the world turns and changes, we should too. We look at human society and at what it needs. We empower people to keep learning, to discover their potential, to change, and to shape the world.
It's really important to have lifelong learning.
To continue to expand myself.
Because when I improve myself, it inspires others around me.
Anyone can make a change as long as we're willing to take a step.
Change has to start from yourself. As soon as you improve yourself, change will happen.
Congratulations on achieving this major milestone. You have finished what you started, and you are now a graduate of SUSS. They say that every end has a new beginning. So where do you go from here? In the next chapter of your lives, do apply what you have learned over the past few years and believe in yourself. The future will pose many challenges, but you will also come across new and promising opportunities. Allow me to share 3 key points to take note. First, embrace lifelong learning so that you will be relevant and ready for the changes in the coming decades. Second, keep fit and stay healthy, because this will enable you to enjoy life to the fullest. And third, remember to help others with your talents, gifts, and time, because that's what will keep you happy. On behalf of the School of Business, we are all very proud of you, and I wish you the very best for your future.
My heartiest congratulations to you all for successfully completing the law degree. I know it has been an arduous journey of both discovery and learning. Discovery because you have, I believe, learned much about yourself. Learning because I am quite sure you did learn the law. Pursuing a law degree while balancing work and family commitments at the same time is indeed a difficult task. At the risk of repeating myself, you have done it. Now you may all look forward to the next phase of the journey in the law. The next phase, while again requiring learning, does offer a direct insight into the practice of law. We at the school certainly hope we have provided you the necessary base for the next phase. Our applied pedagogy, I believe, would have done just that. Finally, as you embark upon the next phase in your journey in the law, let me encourage you to keep ties with the school. We value your relationship with us and hope to build upon it. In time to come, we will invite you to return to our school to participate in our alumni activities and also to help to contribute to the student experience at our school by your personal sharing and guidance for current and future students. Once again, congratulations and all the very best for the future.
on your graduation.
Well done on your graduation.
Tahniah semua.
Warmest wishes on your graduation.
Woo! Congratulations to everybody.
Well done, students.
Congratulations, graduating class.
Congratulations and wish you success ahead.
Yay! Good job, everyone. Happy graduation.
Well done on your success. Wish you a happy convocation.
恭喜亚伯雅哥，你们毕业了。
回来多多吃吃安迪泡的咖啡，很好喝，加油加油
All your hard work has paid off.
Happy graduation.
Hello graduates, all the hard work you put in has paid off.
All the best for your future endeavors and go out there and make a difference. Happy graduation!
Cut.
Finally can go home.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SUSS Convocation. Please be seated as the convocation will begin shortly. As the convocation is a formal occasion, may we request all graduands and guests to remain seated throughout the ceremony, and for all mobile devices to be switched to silent mode. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and remain standing for the national anthem.
declare this convocation open for the presentation of graduates for the degrees in business and law.
Graduands, colleagues, families and friends. This year's convocation marks a historic occasion for SUSS as we proudly celebrate the graduation of our largest cohort ever, close to 3,000 graduates. Among you are the pioneer batch of our Bachelor of Public Safety and Security program. Congratulations and well done to all graduates. Your dedication and determination in reaching the pinnacle of your studies today have been remarkable and exemplify the true spirit of SUSS graduates. As you reflect on the completion of your university journey, many of you will be wondering if you have achieved your purposes and goals that you were seeking from your university education. All of you would have achieved the primary goal of earning a degree. Hopefully this will set you up for a productive career or enhance your capacity in your existing career. But did you get more than that from the university? How has the university equipped you with the knowledge, perspectives, and attributes that will prepare you to face a future that will be volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, all at the same time? Universities have been around for a long time. Nalanda in India, considered by historians to be the world's first residential university, was in existence from the 5th century to the 12th century. The oldest university that has not ceased operations since its founding is the University of Bologna in Italy, founded in 1088. Universities as places of learning have lasted because they continue to evolve, to make themselves relevant to changing circumstances. The university of the present and the future, if they are to continue to thrive, must therefore have the capacity to innovate, meet societal needs, create opportunities, and respond to evolving challenges. I believe SUSS is such a university, an entrepreneurial university for social good. What do I mean? First, SUSS champions learning for life, which is critical for a world that is changing rapidly. Institutions of learning must play its role in enabling a population to deal with constant change and adaptation. SUSS engenders the spirit of continuous learning, encouraging its students to embrace an open-minded and receptive attitude towards constant improvement. Take the example of Vincent Low, who exited a teaching career of close to 40 years and joined our Juris Doctor program. Despite re-entering school at a mature age, he has attained commendable achievements, participating in competitions and conferences within the field and getting appointed as a class representative each year since joining SUSS. In his own words, SUSS has afforded him the opportunity to pursue his interest in law, to embark on his next phase of life. He's now preparing for his bar examination and certainly an inspiration to all of us. Second, we enable purposeful pursuits. We hope to define success in the university not with a piece of paper, but with the actual realization of passion and purpose. We want students to explore their passions, discover purpose, and contribute meaningfully to their academic pursuits, work, and personal lives. One graduate who marries passion and purpose is Ho Li Shan, our Master of Social Work graduate. Before her studies at SUSS, she was already working with different segments of society, from migrant workers to the youths and the elderly. She was recommended by her mentors and friends to take up the program at SUSS to acquire applied knowledge and to pivot to a field that she's passionate in and called to serve. Even as she had encountered hurdles at work, home, and in school throughout her studies, she remained undeterred and succeeded in embarking on this meaningful new career. Third, we honor resilience and determination, essential qualities that empower students to conquer challenges and achieve their goals in work and life. Learning for life is not merely about learning over the course of a lifetime. It is also about learning how to live a good and meaningful life. No Dadira Fride, our early childhood graduate, epitomizes this unyielding, tough-minded spirit to succeed in her studies. Over COVID, most of us face challenges adjusting to the new norm. Coming from a less well-to-do background, Nadira had to deal with far more unfavorable physical conditions of a rental home, which she shares with her mum and siblings during the circuit breaker phase. This involves spending around 10 hours a day of her time studying along the HDB corridor, but she made the most of her circumstances, finding creative ways to study and even forging good relationships with her neighbours over that time. I know many of you have had to overcome considerable challenges to get to this point, having to balance work, family, and studies. Your achievements today speak of your ability to learn for life with purpose and resilience. These will position you well in life. Today, some people have questioned the value of degrees, arguing that conventional academic qualifications may not align with evolving, adaptable skills demanded by new industries or job roles. Some employers are also re-evaluating the hiring criteria and placing more emphasis on skills, potential, and cultural fit. Amid debates about the value of traditional degrees in a rapidly changing world, SUSS stands as a testament to the enduring relevance of higher education and continuous learning. Our enrollment continues to grow since our inception, and we now welcome nearly 5,000 students each year, full-time and part-time, into our university. As I said earlier, I would like to see SUSS embarking on a unique growth trajectory as an entrepreneurial university for social good in a phase of changing education, work, and environmental demands. We can be a disruptor in this regard. We will not stand still, but will strive to break new frontiers to deliver on our role as a university that inspires learning for life to impact lives and to redefine the meaning of education and success. How do we achieve this? First, we must stay closely connected to local and global communities and the larger ecosystem we serve. This will allow us to learn and understand needs, draw fresh insights, ideas, and opportunities direct from the industry, enterprise, and the community. This has enabled a continuous refresh of our curriculum and programs, including a new curriculum edition launched this year to keep our education agile and relevant. We must also leverage technology to design and deploy teaching and learning tools and platforms like the Digital Andragogy Blueprint for Singapore's workforce that was co-created by SUSS and Microsoft to enable educators to better leverage digital tools for adult education and learning. Second, despite being the youngest autonomous university in Singapore, we must maintain relevance in offering a unique blend of full-time and part-time studies to a diverse learner base. From small beginnings compared to our industry peers, we have grown into a recognized university brand known for our lifelong learning education, applied research, and impactful partnerships, offering over 90 stackable programs and close to 1,000 professional courses to learners and working professionals today. Finally, we must leverage on our core expertise in social sciences to generate impact in education and research for industry and society. One such example is our Ngee Ann Kongsi Social Impact Hub, established with the support of Ngee Ann Kongsi to promote an age-friendly Singapore served by our students, graduates, faculty, and partners. The road to learning is a long one, and it beckons us towards new vistas of discovery. So to our graduands, as you leave the university, remember that the university does not leave you. SUSS is your alma mater. Alma mater is a Latin phrase meaning nourishing and bountiful mother. I hope you will continue to regard SUSS as a source of strength and a beacon of guidance. Your journey as lifelong learners continues, and I welcome you to return to learn with us anytime. As we celebrate your achievements today, I want to take the opportunity to honor and express our deep gratitude to your families, friends, and everyone at SUSS who has supported you along this journey. As you go forth, remember that your legacy will not be defined by the loftiness of your titles or size of salaries, but by the lives you touch and the challenges you overcome and the contributions you will make in society. We believe you will all do SUSS proud. May your future be filled with optimism, purpose, and fulfillment. Congratulations again, the graduating cohort of 2023.
Today, we are honored to have Mr. Gregory Vijayendran, Senior Counsel, as our graduation speaker. Mr. Vijayendran is an accomplished lawyer in Singapore and a disputes partner in Raja and Tan. He is a former president of the Law Society of Singapore, having served from 2017 to 2021. He is the longest-serving president of the Law Society of Singapore. Mr. Vijayendran was appointed a senior counsel of the Supreme Court of Singapore in 2019. Being a great believer in the education of lawyers, Mr. Vijayendran served as our first chairman of the SUSS School of Law's Program Advisory Committee for 2 terms, from 2017 to 2021. He is also an alumnus of the prestigious group of lawyers who have represented Singapore at the Philip Jessup International Law Moot Competition, being part of the 1992 team that emerged world runners-up in the competition that year. Recognized for his heart for the less privileged, for which he was appointed the inaugural pro bono ambassador of the Law Society, Mr. Vijayendran is an active and leading lawyer on governance of non-profit organizations. He has lectured on this area of law at the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. Among other roles, he presently serves as Honorary General Secretary of the National Council of Social Services and Chairman of Pro Bono SG, the pro bono arm of the Law Society. In 2008, he was conferred the Good Samaritan Award by Advocates International for his leadership in Advocates Asia, an NGO committed to international reconciliation, conflict resolution, religious liberty, and professional ethics. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Vijayendran. Mr. Vijayendran, please.
Professor Tan Tai Yong, President, Singapore University of Social Sciences, Professor Leslie Chu, Dean, School of Law, Associate Professor Alan Chia, Dean, School of Business, distinguished guests, honored graduates, ladies and gentlemen, friends. Congratulations to all graduands here. This is a glorious and victorious moment for you, one celebrated by your parents, spouses, family members, loved ones, and friends. They have stood by you in this grueling last few years. In many ways, there is a symmetry between this meaningful milestone of your convocation today and Shanti Pereira's stellar race to gold at the Asian Games last week. The common themes also resonate with this year's convocation theme of Go Make Your Mark. Both our Golden Girls success and your degree conferment today involve big dreams, gritty perseverance until the end, rigorous discipline, and overcoming tests before hitting the finishing line. Each of you has demonstrated what Rohith Brijnath, our Straits Times assistant sports editor, headlined as the golden lesson in his report of Shanti Pereira's win. Winning is within our reach. In short, the dream of going for gold can be achieved. This despite unique, specific, and complex challenges that many of you have had to overcome to get to this point of your destiny, from financial constraints, sacrificing lucrative careers, turning multitasking to art form, while juggling other hats, for some as husband, wife, father, mother. You have realized the impossible yet cherished dream you dreamt, relentlessly burning the candles at both ends at times by working and studying, staying the cause in what may have felt like an odyssey at vulnerable or doubtful times. But here you are, having arrived at this capstone culmination. Kudos to each and every one of you. I want to touch on 2 distinct ideas today. The first on ethics, or what I call the ethos of ethicality, And the second, exemplifying excellence. These are inextricably linked with and inform each other. With ethicality, you will necessarily demonstrate excellence. By exemplifying excellence, it will entail adopting the right approach as a moral and ethical sense. The ethos of ethicality. An ethos is a characteristic spirit of a culture, era, or community manifested in its attitudes and aspirations. An alternative simple definition of ethos is core truth. How to espouse ethicality? Resolve to have rectitude. Be purposeful about propriety. Before we get to the how, let's understand the big picture question of why. Portions of what follow next in my speech may resonate more with law graduates today, but it certainly has relevance to our business graduates too. The why question. Ethical renaissance has been on the radar from the start of the year due to the Honorable the Chief Justice Sundaresh Menon's response to the opening of legal year speeches. After observing the noticeable rise in breaches of ethics and professional standards over the last few years, Chief Justice Sundaresh Menon intentionally announced that Justice Valerie Thien and Senior Counsel Jimmy Yim will together spearhead a team that will develop a strategy aimed at re-establishing the moral center and values of our profession for existing practitioners, and just as importantly, at fostering this among new entrants to our ranks. I'm humbled to serve on that team. The team was asked to consider the impact of the changes arising from the events of the last 3 years from the perspective of our professional and ethical well-being as an important initiative for our future. So this bedrock, this building, this bulwark of ethics, morality, and values for older and younger, veterans and rookies, are part and parcel of the invisibly designed architecture and visioned for the legal profession. For legal practitioners, there is another salient reason why ethicality. There is a saying attributed to Richard Ter's Introduction to Lawyers' Ethics where he wrote, "Life in law is an adventure in applied ethics." So true. Go speak to any legal practitioner of any seniority, irrespective of law firm or practice area. The law practice life is an adventure in applied ethical judgments. May it not become a misadventure. Part of the adventure involves balancing multifaceted duties owed by lawyers. The Law Society of New South Wales ethics page on their website succinctly state, ethical considerations are an inherent part of practicing law due to the multiple obligations solicitors owe their clients, the courts, the profession, and the public. With so many interests to serve, the right path to take is not always clear. For those graduating with a law degree in this cohort who may not become legal practitioners, as well as business school graduates, there is still a compelling case to inculcate the ethos of ethicality. Interestingly enough, I found out that SUSS itself has a School of Business module, BUS 308, on sustainability, ethics, and law. Its synopsis says that the course focuses on the role of ethics and law in business sustainability. Businesses operate in an environment defined not only by market forces, but also by ethical, legal, political, and cultural obligations. Fundamentally, the course is about judgment thinking critically and making judgments in a sustainability-oriented business context. In one word, it is about ESG. Anne Skeet, in a February 2022 web article, What Do ESG and Ethics Have in Common?, for Makula Center for Applied Ethics at St. Clara University, writes on this nexus between ESG and ethics. And I quote, "Ethics captures the conditions in which human beings thrive and that provides the most direct link for the modern business taxonomy ESG, shorthand for environmental, social, and governance standards in corporations. The introductions of these metrics signals a renewed value on ethics reflected in the marketplace by consumers and employees," unquote. Will you be considered less smart or tactical if you respect ethical parameters and do not cut corners? I want to strongly suggest that the converse is true. By staying on the straight and narrow, you will smartly avoid potential ethical minefields from detonating. you will build the valued integrity and high trust quotient Singapore lawyers and Singapore business people have become known for. These are integral qualities in the Singapore story pioneered by our nation's founding fathers and forefathers. The illumination when you take one step after one step after one step in the right direction is that your path becomes brighter and clearer, and dare I say, more intuitive. Within the framework of the external scaffolding of ethics, you can excel in your sphere of influence. Instead of stultification or a chilling effect on client and business growth, you will still find room for creativity and innovation. Jurisprudentially, there is no dichotomy between personal and professional integrity for the purposes of professional discipline of lawyers. In the words of the Honorable Justice Andrew Pang, as he then was, in Law Society of Singapore and David Rossif, and I quote, "It is therefore crucial that members of the legal profession conduct themselves both in their professional as well as their personal lives in an honest, honorable, and incorruptible manner. As reiterated by Sir Bingham, Master of the Rolls in Bolton, the essential issue is the need to maintain among members of the public a well-founded confidence that any solicitor whom they instruct will be a person of unquestionable integrity, probity, and trustworthiness. It would, in the circumstances, be extremely disconcerting if lawyers do not hold themselves out on a personal level in the same manner as they would on a professional level," unquote. Let me select an example from family law. Therapeutic justice is the modern lens of care that for a few is corrective eye treatment. While wearing that lens of therapeutic justice, you need an ethical compass to navigate the new terrain you see. For aspiring family law practitioners here, I would commend for your edification Monash University Professor the Honorable Nahm Moshin An's 2018 Singapore Academy of Law Journal article entitled "Ethics in Family Law, Beyond Legal Principles and into Value Judgments." The professor makes the powerful point that the process of decision-making in family law is replete with value judgments. Playing clean and fair, steering clear from moral hazards and ethical quagmires will bring its intrinsic rewards: an impeccable reputation, a clear conscience, a renewed sense of calling. And you will also find that the other more external, tangible rewards will follow. My second main point, exemplifying excellence. How do you go make your mark? The raison d'être is encapsulated in a pithy English proverb: "If anything is worth doing, it is worth doing well." The proverb's provenance is an advice in a letter penned by Philip Stanhope, 4th Earl of Chesterfield, to his son in 1774. That same fatherly advice I would give to each of you in this address. If anything is worth doing, it is worth doing well. Work well at your work, focusing with your best intellect, passionate devotion, and determined will. I will share a story about my successor in Law Society, the late great President Adrian Tan. He sadly left us on 8th July this year. Adrian was my vice president for several years. I spent a few years later on in my serving presidency encouraging him to take over the helm of serving leadership from me. But I met a stonewalling refrain from him: "I cannot do what you do. I cannot do what you do." Eventually, after my season of service was over, Adrian steeled himself and took up the gauntlet of the bar leadership, what has been described as the least enviable job of the legal profession. In the final analysis, Adrian was correct. He could not do what I could do. He could only do what he could do. And he did that well. The greatest social media influencer, the greatest influencer compared to any of his predecessors, hands down the best writer among the Law Society presidents. He was poignant, he was witty, he was subtle, with a style of writing that enjoyed broad-ranging appeal to all and sundry. His reflections struck a chord with many from all walks of life. He was inimitably Adrian Tan. My successor was a success in his own right. This is the truism. You cannot do what someone else can do. You can only do what you can do. And each of us are purposed to do what we are uniquely gifted, talented, or wired to do, and to do so excellently. But how to be excellent? Let me share some advice from several writers on how to be excellent, the recipe for success. Jack Canfield and others, The Power of Focus, 2013. You must invest most of your time every week doing what you do best and let others do what they do best. Focus on those activities you do brilliantly and from which you produce extraordinary results. If you don't, you'll probably create higher stress levels and ultimate burnout. When you focus most of your time and energy doing the things you're truly brilliant at, you eventually reap big rewards. James Clear, Atomic Habits, 2018. Habits are easier when they align with your natural abilities. Choose the habits that best suit you. Rob Parsons, The Heart of Success, 2002. Discover Factor X and then be set free to use it. Factor X is that ability in a man or woman that is a natural strength. It sets them apart from the pack. Parsons cite the movie Chariots of Fire, where Eric Liddell, Olympic gold medalist, in a conversation with his sister said, "God made me fast, and when I run, I feel his pleasure." That was Liddell's Factor X. Rod Judkins, Make Brilliant Work 2021, advises that instead of continuous partial attention, hyper-focus so as to keep to the best course of action. This means noticing what happens around us and deciding what deserves our attention. Let others be easily distracted, but to create brilliant work, you must focus only on what is essential. Ryan Hawk, The Uncommon Behaviors of the World's Most Productive Achievers, 2022. The pursuit of excellence is all about becoming better at what you do, becoming more skillful, more knowledgeable. Those are great places to start from, spoken to us by these mentors. Focusing on what you do best, aligning habits with natural abilities, use your Factor X and play to strengths, hyper-focus instead of continuous partial attention, become more skillful and knowledgeable over time. Here are 3 practical tips to round up how to cultivate excellence. First, discern your main gift or skill. There are 4 sub-questions to aid your discernment. Number 1, what comes easily to you? Number 2, what do you effortlessly do without significant study or preparation? Number 3, what do you do that others find hard to do? And number 4, what could you create by using your unique gifts and talents? Secondly, do a little more. Sometimes the difference between excellence and average is just that little bit more. The fine touches, the finesses. Tom Peters, who co-authored In Search of Excellence, has spoken of how excellence comes from small behaviors and small words and phrases like thank you and I'm sorry. Thirdly, what is your unique value proposition? An especially pertinent question with the existential work questions posed by artificial intelligence. Do you have a multidisciplinary perspective based on a second university degree or a course you took, or an industry expertise or work experience derived from previous employments or internships? In conclusion, in the final analysis, success in your chosen field of endeavor will be a marathon, not a sprint. In the words of Marie Curie, the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes, and I quote, "Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and above all, confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this thing, at whatever cost, must be attained," unquote. Congratulations to all our graduates once again. May the 2 beacons of light of ethicality and excellence guide your way forward.
President, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Bachelor of Science Business has earlier been conferred. Ahmad Safi bin Zahid. Andrew Koh Lien Hao. Ang Jia En. Ang Xiao Ling Jenny. Aslinawati binti Abdul Latif. Bernice Lim. Brandon Tan Wei Ming. Brian Yo Po Chun. Chai Chen Ye. Chi Yen Si. Cheryl Yo Si Min. Ching Wei Ting Margaret. Colin Chia Boon Siang. Crystal Wang Ching. Crystal Ui Shui Jing. Daing Nafahana binti Daing Zahid. Darian bin Qasim. Daryl Yo Kang He. David Tan Yao Wei. Donegal Tze Yun. Farah Zila binti Selamat. Fu Chao Rong. Gayatri, daughter of Rajakumar. Jermaine To Zining. Go Eun Shen. Go KW. Gauri, daughter of Maruthan. Haris bin Ahmad. Ho Tzu Chun. Ifra binti Muhammad Anis. Ili Hidayati binti Muhammad Hanafi. Ivan Tan Hong Hui. Jeremy Chi Jun Rong. Jiang Jing Yi. Joel Pao Jia Le. Joseph Ang Cheng Bin. Juliana Binte Suada. Jun Ling Xiao Wei. Ku Yingjie Joseph. Kitson Tan Tze Sin. Ko Beng Ho. Kwek Wei Lun. Li Yan Rong. Leong Yi Chun. Liang Chun Yuan. Liu Xiao Wei. Lim Ka Hong Benjamin. Lim Ka Yong. Lim Ziwei. Lo Ngan Liang Ivan. Lo Weng Hua. Lu Po Jun Perry. Muhammad Hashim bin Muhammad Elias. Muhammad Faris bin Muhammad Hanif. Muhammad Febri Azrian Shah bin Azman. Muhammad Garib bin Sani. Muhammad Hadi bin Muhammad Jailani. Muhammad Izdiha bin Abdul Latif. Muhammad Mustafa bin Mat Sani. Natalie To Ye Shing. Nazira binti Muhammad Yusuf. Niu Chia Rong. Niu Tek Kui. Ng Gek Eng. Ng Seng Yong Brandon. Ng Teng Siang Clinton. Ng Chen Ta. Nina Neo Chin Lee. Nur Fitri binti Ngaimin. Nurliza binti Amin. Nora Shida binti Sabarudin. Nur Liana binti Muhammad Mazlan. Nurul Atika binti Abdul Rahman. Nurul Huda Abdullah Tan. O Yongsheng Xavier. Ong Jing Wen. Ong Yi Chun. Premjit Kaur, daughter of Jeet Singh. Po Lee Min. Regina Lim Yingshan. Rian Binta Alam. Si Fang Ying Eleanor. Shahira Niza Binte Mohammed Jerkan. Sim Jia Yun. Sim Siu Yi. Siti Hanifa Binte Shuko. Siti Nadra Binte Abdul Rahim. Siti Nasiba, daughter of Muhammad Bashir. Siti Nerd Zafira Binte Zainal. So Lei Peng. So Wei Kiam. Sumaya Binte Othman. Shafiq bin Azman. Tan Kok Hui. Tan Si Yen. Tan Yimin Jane. Tan Yuan Yuan. Tang Tze Chen. Teo Kai Xiang. Teo Min Hui Angeline. Wang Wei Jin. Wilfred Tan Fu Gui. Wong Yi Ping Angela. Yan Zheshun. Yana Prasant, son of Rajan Thiran. Yang Yang. Yun Wei Jie. Yu Mei Sin Jolin. Zulfika bin Razak. Zulkarnain bin La Muhammadiyah.
President, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Bachelor of Science, Business Analytics has earlier been conferred. Adam O. Jiarong. Anu Madia binti Zu Hushan. Alisa Lam Jia Yu. Amelia So Li Xian. Andrew Whitmarsh. Benny Lim Jin Xiong. Brian Lim Zeyuan. Caleb Chia Wee Kiat. Chen Guanghua. Chen Xinying. Chang Yitian Jolin. Chen Guohao Alvin. Chen Xinhui. Chong Jia-en Sanders. Chu Yi-wen. Chong Yu-xuan. Colin Giam Zhenrong. Daryl Cole. David Wee Yongjie. Devin Lu Kangsheng. Dominic Desmond Anil Abraham Emmanuel. Durga Devi, daughter of Vivekanandan. Edward Tan Tozer. Ilumalai Logeshwaran. Ying Jiahui Claire. Ethan Chu Chen Yi. Gan Ke Yi. Gan Shiqi. Gan Wantian Mabel. Gerald Go Zihing. Gladys Lee. Go Jinglun. Go Junxian. Go Jiaodong Franco. Go Mati Pania Selvam. Han Jisu. He Yanjin. Ivan Lam Zheng Liang. Jairens Ong. Ku Li Ting Josephine. Ko Ziheng. Crystal Chi Jia Chi. Kwa Zhen Yang Gavin. Lai Jia Ten. Lam Kit Yen. Li Junjie. Li Xie Li. Li Jiaxin. Hing Jordan. Lim Junwei. Lim Shijie. Lim Yu Kang Terence. Lim Yi Yuan. Lou Zexing. Masha Sofina binti Muhammad. Mei Ted Ting. Muhammad Irshad bin Omar. Muhammad Shafiq bin Muhammad Zainal. Muhammad Shakir bin Sajono. Muhammad Yunus bin Saleh. New Yu Yang Philip. Ng Yan Kai. Ng Zhen Yun. Nicholas Lien Jia Hao. Nico Tan Jie Ting. Nick Chan Chu Lee. Nina Ng Zai Ni. O Wee Sing. On Yi Hai. Pei Wee Lon. Piu Hing Tet Po. Rachel Chong Wen Ching. Rachel Ng Ling Kai. Ryan Samuel Thomas. Sabrina Sun Chin Ying. Samuel Lee. Xiao Jiaqi. Sharanya Madhva. Xiao Ka Hui. Season Eros Maria Cristiana Ravallo. So Kai Xian. So Moon Yi. So Chi Min Belinda. Sun Jia Wei. Su Di. Tan Hanzhe. Tan Pinghen Julian. Tan Shoupong Jackson. Tan Wenxuan. Taufik Hakim bin Abdul Wahid. Ting Xian Cheng. Teron New Jia Hao. Timothy Lim Zhixian. Timothy C. E. Liang. Ulrika Murali. Vivian Lee Pei Zhen. Willie Wong. Wu Kai-wen. Un Bun-ping. Wu Seamus. Yap Xin Yi. Yu Shimin. Zhu Wenqing.
The School of Law is pleased to commence the presentation of graduates for the class of 2023. Before we begin, we are proud to present a video of one of our graduates reflecting on his learning journey. Mr. Po Chi Eng graduates today with a degree in Juris Doctor.
In my university journey, I learned that there are no limits in the pursuit of knowledge and life experiences. Do not be afraid to take on more, because only when you test your limits can you realize how much stronger you actually are.
We have the power to make a lasting impact. By embracing our responsibilities, we create a world where fairness and equality prevail for all, forging a better future for society.
As we journey into the future, we often leave something valuable behind, our footprint. We have to ensure that the footprints we leave are positive and enriching for the students of tomorrow. That's how we progress as a society together.
Setbacks are part and parcel of life. Acknowledging setbacks and picking oneself up can be difficult, but it sets you apart from people who gave up trying. Forging new paths ahead, I set out to be a better me each day.
Giving up and shunning from responsibilities are easy. The real challenge is how to persevere and take on responsibilities. With each and every step I take, I face all challenges head on and seek a better tomorrow.
I'm Chi Eng. I'm a graduate at SUSS from the School of Law. I was very fortunate to have been on the receiving end of a lot of kindness from our society, including the opportunity to get into the SUSS School of Law, without which I think I may still be struggling in life. I'm very grateful for all the kindness I have received, and I want to give back to our society by making our society better, one kind act at a time. I was a hawker before entering the School of Law, and one of my staff, an ex-gangster, he told me that he doesn't have a good impression of lawyers because there was once he was asked to plead guilty to a charge of rioting with weapons, even though he wasn't involved. So his lawyer was not keen in listening to his story, but was only interested in collecting his deposit. And this really surprised me because I didn't know that such injustice existed. So when I decided to apply to the School of Law, I made a pact to myself. I told myself that I will not become such a lawyer, and I hope I can do my part to prevent such injustice from happening. Our BTO flat was delayed due to COVID, but fortunately we were allocated a rental flat by HDB. For a large part of my university life, my family and I were living in a small two-room rental flat. This first-hand experience of staying in a two-room rental flat allowed me to better appreciate some of the challenges low-income families face, especially those families who have to fit 4, 5 or even 6 family members into that same small flat. It made me all the more grateful for some of the little things that we usually take for granted. It got me thinking, how can I do my part to help some of these people? So I started volunteering regularly at a Meet the People session where I focused on helping people seek and get help from the authorities, such as financial assistance and other social support. So I think this was the best decision I have made because through these sessions, I get to experience and understand better the kind of challenges that these residents face, and the look of gratitude on their faces when you help them to get the help that they need, that is really priceless. I want to continue contributing back to the society as much as I can with the skills and knowledge I picked up throughout the course of my studies. I'm very grateful for the support of my family and friends, without whom I might not have been able to complete my studies. Especially my wife, who has been holding the fort at home. It is not easy for her, who's also working, yet have to take care of our son who was very young then, so that I can focus on and finish my studies. The key takeaway from my time in the SUSS School of Law is that we all have an individual role to play in improving access to justice. I'm ready to go make my mark.
President, may I present the following graduates on whom the degree of Bachelor of Laws has earlier been conferred. A. Ramita. Amirul Ashraf bin Jumahat. Amrun Hisham bin Ahmad Nizam. Andrew Ong Yi Kai. Ang Yi Feng. Denise Ng Hui Min. Durga, daughter of Kalai Silvan. Elise Lim Wen Xuan. Esther Lim Yi Xuan. Felicia Yo Wei Xuan. Grace, daughter of David. Hazira Begum binti Zakir Hussain. Intan Suhaili binti Abu Bakar. Janani Mohan. Kang Chiangwan Bejenbing. Lee Lidi Lydia. Lee Wan Lin Amelia. Maria Santos. Nazira binti Shahul Hamid. Nivan Raj, son of Alakarajan. Nur Amira binti Muhammad Hanifah. Nurdina Diana binti Razali. Nur Fatin binti Puat. Nurul Ain binti Muhammad Zaini. Ronald So Wei Liang. Shireen Tan Lee Chu. Teresa Yi En Ai. President, may I now present the following graduates on whom the degree of Juris Doctor has earlier been conferred. Chai Cheng Han. Chan Shin Ni. Li Xuan Zhang. Lim Sarah. Lo Siu Chua Vincent. Lo Ying Hui. Martin Grace Evelyn. Muhammad Ashraf bin Burhandin. Muhammad Fadil bin Muhammad Fazil. Muhammad Fazali bin Jafar. Muhammad Martin bin Abdul Razak. Ng Tien Sin. Po Chi Eng. Siu Gek Hua. Sivamangai, daughter of Tirumeni Mutu Karupan. Tan Siang Hai Roy. Teo Yao Long. To Yong Chuan. Yo Yong Chuan. We shall now present awards to graduates who have achieved outstanding performance. President, may I present the following award winners for the degrees that have earlier been conferred. May I invite Mr. Gregory Vijayendran to present the awards. For the degree of Bachelor of Science Business, winner of the Lee Fook Hong Gold Award, Joelle Pao Chia Le. Winner of the Lee Fook Hong Silver Award, Ivan Tan Hong Hui. Winner of the Lee Fook Hong Bronze Award, Gauri, daughter of Muratan. For the degree of Bachelor of Science Business Analytics, winner of the SAS Business Forecasting Book Prize, Neo Yu Yang Philip. Winner of the SAS Programming and its Application Book Prize, Xiao Ka Hui. Winner of the Tableau Book Prize, Benny Lim Ching Siong. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, winner of the Raja and Tan Foundation Top Law Graduate Prize and the Vangat Ramaya Memorial Prize in Family Law, Janani Mohan. Winner of the Vangat Ramaya Memorial Prize in Criminal Law, Lee Lidi Lydia. President, today we are indeed honored to have Mr. Gregory Vijayendran as our graduation speaker. On behalf of the university, we would like to invite you, Mr. President, to present a memento to Mr. Vijayendran. The valedictorian for the class of 2023 is Mr. Yo Yong Chuan, who graduated with a degree of Juris Doctor. Mr. Yo will now deliver his speech.
Professor Tan Taeyong, President, SUSS. Mr. Gregory Vijayendran, Senior Counsel and past President of the Law Society of Singapore. Distinguished guests, fellow graduates, family and friends, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening. My name is Yo Yong Chuan, a graduate from the School of Law Juris Doctor program. I must thank the school for giving me this chance to address you today on behalf of my fellow graduates. It is a wonderful honor and privilege of mine. So for the past 4 years, I have a yellow note that was pasted on my wall that states, "Remember why you started." So this phrase accompanied me throughout my course of reading law in SUSS, and I would like to begin my address this evening with the same question: why we started. So I asked some of my classmates on why they started. So their responses were, it was a childhood dream, to lend their voices to those who cannot speak for themselves, to know the law and to serve others, to impact the community, to seek justice, to make the world a better place. My reasons were less noble. I simply found the profession rather appealing. You see, lawyers are generally well-respected in the society, though not always loved. They're known to have sharp minds and are well-measured in their replies because the answer to every legal question is, it depends. However, 4 years of education at SUSS gave deeper meaning as compared to when I first started. So I wonder how many in the audience are familiar with the process of making Japanese swords. So the most famous part of the process is the folding of the steel by heating, hammering, and folding a metal some 8 to 16 times. This process is called shitakitai. It increases the effective strength of the steel by removing impurities and the weak points. So I find this analogy similar to our education in SUSS. We were constantly put on the hot seats, hammered by our lecturers on the law, and had our viewpoints bent and challenged many times over. So in the process, we refined our knowledge on the law and became sharp as a katana. However, we are not trained to cut down opponents. The SUSS School of Law was set up with a special focus, and that is to produce lawyers specializing in community law. We are trained here to defend and to heal. This brings me to my next point on how we got here today. The School of Law degree program is a power-packed full curriculum compressed into a part-time course dedicated to working adults. So twice a week, we will attend classes from after work from 7 to 10 p.m., and every weekend will be burnt on rushing assignment and quizzes. That was our life for the past 4+ years. As my lecturers and classmates will know, on top of my day job, my young family expanded over the same period. So my son was born 2 months before the program started, and my twin daughters, they were born 2 months before the program ended. So I still remember very clearly the many times I had to lock my door to rush the assignment and the study. And my son, who could barely speak then, he would crawl and peep underneath the door and cry, "Papa!" So with the deadline looming, I had to tell him, "Sorry, Papa, I really cannot play with you. I have a deadline." So I can still feel that heartache now as I recall this memory. So with my wife, he is here today among the audience. So I'm sure all my classmates have in many other ways made numerous sacrifices in our pursuit to read law. Honestly, none of it would be possible without the tremendous support and sacrifices by our families and loved ones. Next, I wish to talk about our faculty. The law school faculty is a formidable team. It was all hands on deck, where even our beloved dean and vice dean will coach and guide us in the modules, workshops, and seminars. Most of our lecturers are also practitioners teaching us practical application of the law and imparting valuable work and life experiences. The legal clerkship program is also uniquely SUSS. The school and faculty garnered full commitment from the family justice courts, the state courts, the Attorney General's chambers, the Ministry of Law, as well as veteran lawyers in supporting this program. My classmates and I had a chance to network, interact, and learn from judges and seasoned litigators. We were involved in actual court cases and experienced for ourselves the satisfaction and impact that we could bring as family and criminal lawyers. Most importantly, this program cemented lifelong friendship, mutual respect, and cooperation among my classmates and I. Many of us had also participated in external programs and competitions. SUSS students are not underdogs. With our ability and maturity, thank you. So with our abilities and maturity, we have made notable waves in the legal industry by winning both local and international competition while flying the SUSS flag. Most recently, Team SUSS beat the two other local law schools to represent Singapore in the international negotiation competition held in Rome. This is the oldest and most renowned negotiation competition in the world. So now, where do we go from here? Currently, there are around 6,000 lawyers to serve our society in every aspect of life, from personal to commercial. Our school was set up to address the shortage of family law and criminal law practitioners precisely because of the intense emotional labor involved when compared with other areas of law.